Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the fourth episode of Asphalt and Trouble, Part 1. We are Hacked in the Dark, a collective of designers and players based around the Forged in the Dark system. Um, and I'll let Jacob take it away.
Yeah, welcome. We're playing my game, Asphalt and Trouble, about biker gangs in the wilderness fighting corporations. Um, this group are the Hellhounds. They are a gang of peacekeepers, and I will let all the players introduce themselves as well.
I'm Ian, he, him, and I'm playing Doc Skurlock, the architect.
Hi, I'm Jared, he, him, and I'm playing Seth, the confidant.
I'm Travis. Anything's good. And I'm playing Anthony Ridges, the Greaser.
And
Thanks so
I'm
much.
Danielle. I use she or they pronouns, and I am playing Claky Kiki Gathan the Breaker.
I don't remember if I said my name. My name is Jacob. I am your GM. I use he, him pronouns. And last time, the Hellhounds intercepted a message that the St. Germain Hospital Association was planning to move in to Tidehome, a compound of abandoned factories that were occupied by, among a number of townspeople, the Condors, a rival gang. They were also asked by the Carrion to assist in assaulting the Condors in Tidehome to take it for them as well. They posed as the Barbers, another now defunct rival gang, who had been working with corporations to lull the corporations into a false sense of security and then ambush them. At the end, there were 3 levicopters that were downed, and the 3 gangs, the Hellhounds, the Carrion, and the Condors, split them each way, deciding that they did not have the resources left to keep fighting. And that's where we left off. So I did not give you a reward yet, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So you are going to get an amount of scrip, and scrip is half real money and half kind of letters of credit from townspeople. And upon hearing that you have fought off corporations, even if the Carrion are probably not going to pay you as much because you did not really take out the Condors, the townspeople are still willing to pay you for like I said last time, I think, like, oh, you're the gang that took out the corporations, here, have this for free. So
Yes.
that equates to 8 scrip, which you can split 2 each or however you want.
2 each sounds good to me.
Seems fair.
You have plenty of room as well for your gang to keep some as well. The peacekeepers.
That's true. We're not good at that whole saving thing, I think.
No.
Who needs to, really?
In the more latest version of this game, which is not quite what we're playing, I am taking out cash and just increasing the amount of script you have, because no one saves anything in this game, as far as I've tested. All right. So now you also got some reputation enough to increase your tier because we're doing an accelerated game, and the corporation knew the St. Germain Hospital Association learned that Tidehome is not abandoned like they had thought, and that biker gangs were occupying it in the surrounding areas, and that they are a bigger threat than expected, being able to take down 3 levicopters and a flying dragon robot. Among the 3 of you, at least.
Yeah.
So the threat level that they have assigned this area has gone up. And now we are entering downtime. As a reminder, one of the other things, some of the fallout was that there was a condor who was trying to find his bike, which, reminding myself of everyone's names, Anthony had tried to taken pieces from and take pictures of, and that kind of thing, to try to recreate the flying mod that it was built with. now we're in downtime, and you can do whatever you want while you kind of recover.
Oh, you can go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I guess I have a question because I have the one ability that allows me to apply 2 project ticks to
Yep.
a long-term project at the beginning of the downtime phase. If there is not a project already started, do I get to apply that?
Yes, you can. There is one project that is currently ongoing if you want to apply it to that, or you can start a new project.
Okay. I just wanted to know because I was probably going to start trying to get the hover mod functional.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. You also have the dragon robot head.
Yeah, there's a lot of
that
work
keep
to
you
do,
carried off.
you know?
There's a lot to do.
I'll have to teach somebody else how to use a wrench or something around here, which is also
So-
another long-term project.
That's just training. That's what it's called.
Oh yeah. That's,
All right. So, which would you like to work on then? The bike mod.
yeah, I think the bike mod first.
Okay. So, gonna say that's 4, because you've already got most of the plans and everything from having evaluated the previous, like the bike that this Condor had.
Yeah.
But I believe you didn't get much time with it, so you still have to do a little bit of research.
Okay. So it'll be a research clock first to get the design and then
Exactly.
to make the mod.
Yep.
Okay. Does the research clock start with rigging as well, or is that a different stat to roll?
It's however you want to do the research. So if you want to do the research by trying to put things together and see what happens, that could be rig. But if you want to gather some allies to help put it together, that could be a sway or a command. Or if you think you've got a prototype and you want to test it out, maybe you could maneuver with it, something like that.
I think I would probably just do the like tinkering aspect, which is kind of that's also the name of the second ability that I had, always tinkering. But maybe, I don't know, I might be able to bring in Martin, who was that first corporate guy we brought in.
So you're putting the 2 ticks on this immediately, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you can spend some time tinkering with it. And then if you want to spend more time, then you can roll to see how that goes.
Sure. And if Martin is involved in it, does that change since he's an expert or whatever?
Yeah, so you can count him as an ally and add a die.
Okay.
Or you can have him lead it and roll his quality, which is actually pretty good.
Yeah, better
You
than
run
me.
up a tier. So if you want to hand it off to him and just kind of oversee, you can have him roll it.
That's what Doc would want, right? We need to get into that position of middle management, I think. Does that put it at four dice then?
Yes.
Okay. Whoa, look at this
Oh, wow.
He's so
Oh my
good.
Oh no!
All right.
Don't use up all the good rolls.
Too late. Yeah. So, so as soon as he gets his hands on it, so you also have the entire salvage from this.
Oh yeah.
Helicopter, which is what
Right.
a lot of the script was. You selling some of that off. So he just pulls like the levy part of the helicopter, the like rockets basically, and says this should do. And says I used to work on this before I got a promotion back in the day. I used to do exactly this kind of thing. He straps it on and it works perfect. So yes, you now have the blueprint for a fighting mode. So you can use a crafting downtime action for however many you want to add, 1 per.
Yeah, I can pass it off to somebody else.
Okay, so I also had a project I wanted to work on, and I was hoping to maybe get the blueprint or the installation instructions out of the script, out of the reward, like you were talking about, because otherwise it would take too long. And specifically, what I'm thinking is I would really like an auto injector, as as like a you know, a ruggedized, militarized version, so I could use it to just like knock somebody out real quick or something.
Okay, so yes, perfect. When you dug up the wreckage of this levicopter, there were a couple of bodies inside, and um, they all had actually this mod. This is how, when you've
Oh.
encountered these like beefed up people, they had like self auto injectors that would give them instant muscle juice, basically. And now that you've got a couple of bodies to see how they did that, you basically have the you can basically take it from them to install on someone else.
Okay.
And you can like reverse it to work so that the person with it can inject on someone else or inject internally, however you want to install it.
Okay, cool. So I want to install one that can inject other people on myself.
Okay. It is very difficult to install mods on yourself.
Well, it's difficult to install biomods, but this is just a thing that I'm strapping my arm to stab people with.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, you can do that with no problem then. So that is going to be a crafting roll, basically, which is rig.
All right. Oh, well, in that case, I will train resolve first, so I can bump
Okay.
up my rig.
Sounds good.
Then I'll roll it. Okay, I got a 4.
Or
So-
you get so I'm going to count this as crafting a biohack, so you get +1 result on it.
All right, so that's 3 ticks out of how many?
Oh no, that's just installing it. Now you have it.
Oh, okay, so that's +1 quality. Then.
Yes. So
Got it.
Yeah. So this is going to be like it's like I said, it's from a corporation. It's going to be corporate tier basically. It's quality 4.
Great. Okay, well that's both of my downtimes.
Anyone else know what they want to do?
Yes. So I think I'm going to have Seth. He's going to be working on his long-term project now that they're no longer getting actively shot at. And I think he wants to try and dig more into what the corporation is looking for out here, kind of find out that big secret and see kind of hopefully what can be done about that. So I think it's just kind of more trolling the internet, just looking through data, trying to find out wherever he can see what's interesting, what's useful.
Yeah, sure.
I would probably also share some of the secrets that I pulled off the corporate local network with
Okay.
the virus.
Right. Yes.
See if you can make anything from that before we sell the rest over the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. That does remind me, because you've got this network, you do get 2 additional script, which I can just mark on the crew for simplicity.
Yeah, let's put it in the crew.
For selling corporate
Yes.
secrets. So you've got some amount of secrets from the virus, but let's see if you can get like the total of the secrets.
Alrighty. So I guess that's Decipher, right?
Sure. Yep.
Hey.
Nice. So yes, you managed to get into an unprotected account. Maybe you send a phishing email or something like that, and someone clicks on something. And...
Hey, this is Mr. Bob Fisher from accounting. I need all of the secret data and what we're looking for out in Soggy Bottom Creek just by end of day. Thank you.
Yeah, and you get a response. So, yeah, the corporation has left research in Tidehome, and a number of their cutting-edge pharmaceuticals were being developed in the like kelp farms underneath Tidehome. So that was why they were planning on using that as a base of operations and then expanding from there. Now that they have been kind of fended off, they are looking to move in with significantly more force. at least a strong show of force. There are probably some. There are already some basically secret agents that have infiltrated Tidehome as well.
Oh, okay, not
to-
us.
Yeah, right. To try to establish, like, gather some information, establish what needs to be done to take it over, and that kind of thing. And failing that, to just take whatever leftover research they can find and bring it back.
Oh no, that's not good.
Yep.
I'm not sure what I want to do for my second action. So does anyone else know?
I gotta relieve some stress.
Sure.
I can watch your back.
Yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
You are still at war with the Bottomfeeders, so yes, as a reminder, if you're really stressed, someone has to be a lookout.
So I think this looks like Kiki finding Jared, or excuse me, finding Seth.
That's a much scarier situation for a second. Around, like,
I was looking at the cameras, and so it,
Yes.
finding Seth and basically, I think she's endeared to Seth because he tried to take the non-violent option, and so she asks if you want to come help her with this thing, and by help she means play with dogs.
I'll say I don't do manual labor, but I will happily play with dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Yep.
Yeah, so the dogs definitely do not listen to Seth because you have 0 dots in command.
It does have sway though. Does that help at all?
That helps with the cats.
Oh, he doesn't like cats. Are apparently his thing. I you know what? I'm into it. He's a cat person.
Yeah.
Good. Let's roll that. 2. Excellent.
Okay.
Leaves me with a healthy 5. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think while we're there, I think Kiki asks Seth where he thinks things are going.
Ooh. So here's the situation.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to burn all this down.
I'm holding out hope that Doc will come to his senses here soon. But he's playing a really dangerous game. Because he's thinking, okay, I keep betting in, I'm smarter, I'm better, I can totally take advantage of this entire corporation thing. The problem is he's that guy at the poker table that thinks he can keep doubling down, and eventually the house is going to win. Honestly, I maybe do one more ride, and then I'm going to start making an exit plan. I would suggest you do the same.
Thank you for your candor.
This was supposed to be morale boosting.
That is why you only got that much stress back.
Yeah. Suddenly very stressed.
Have you spoken to Anthony about this?
No. Might be someone worth talking to.
Yeah.
Not sure if he'll listen, but might be someone worth talking to.
Yeah, I can talk to him if you want.
I think he'd listen to you more.
Maybe. I don't know, since the last one. Oh. Cool. Thanks.
We'll see. Maybe I'm on a lead about this whole kelp farm the corporation has. Maybe this can be turned to our advantage. I just keep a go bag packed.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right. I think there are 2 more downtimes to be had. I think Kiki has 1 more, and so does Anthony.
Yeah. So I have 1 more. I think I'll put it into trying to attach this dragon head that we've managed to trophy ourselves. And I think I'd like to bring Doc into this. I think Doc has better rig than I do,
Yep.
without a doubt. Anthony's like constantly doing stuff, but it's only because he's constantly doing it that progress is made. It is certainly not technical skill. So I think that Anthony starts like sketching up plans or like trying to figure out how you would attach this wild dragon head to a smaller like cat chassis from the corporations. And I probably go to get Doc. Probably along the lines of something like, hey, come on, man. You're always putting, I don't know, those robot things into everybody else. I'm sure this can't be that different. Just less person to mess up.
As you come in, Doc is working on yet another diorama for our next big operation. He's like, oh, hello.
Oh, nice.
Are you painting miniatures? No.
Tactical miniatures.
Mm-hmm.
He has the little push stick.
And there's like a very animal-looking dragon figure as well, not like a robot that's being meticulously painted.
Yeah.
Silver. Yeah, so I invite Doc and show him like I have like whiteboard sketches and like how things are supposed to go together and how we can like put a much smaller chamber into this that will allow the dragon to breathe fire like it was meant to, but it probably won't be able to do it as much as that large half levacopter model that we had previously.
Well, it depends on the density of the fuel.
I'm sorry, what?
Get our hands on some rocket fuel, you know.
What rocket? Where?
I don't have all the logistics worked out. I'm just saying that, smaller container can still contain a lot of energy. And then it's just a matter of controlling the flow rate.
Anthony definitely just nods along with it, like, all right. But can you put it on there first?
Oh, sure. Let me try my hand at that. So can I roll the rig here, or would it still be Anthony's rig?
Since it's Anthony's downtime, it's probably his rig, and then you can add a die for assistance.
Yeah, that works.
Same total then.
That's over here. Nailed it.
Nice. Okay. So, let me put this on there. That was a 6. That's 3. That was pretty successful. So, right ahead.
And can we pay script into it at this point in the process to?
Yes.
Rather than paying for another roll.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, same effect either way. So
Right.
the minimum roll is a 1.
Right.
Sure.
That's true. So yeah, maybe we kind of flash back to you not selling a couple of parts from the helicopter, and That's where that extra script came from. All right, well, let me clear that out now that I put it up there. So yes, you now have a 3-headed Cerberus Chimera robot.
Sweet.
You
Uh,
can, oh, as I said, if you're deleting, you can get probably rid of the corporate secret ones as well.
Should have done that. Yep.
and I think while I've convinced Doc to come help me work on this thing, that I kind of have a conversation I want to have with him, because like while we're like working after he's well enough into it that he's not going to just walk away or something, I kind of broach this subject and I'm like, so listen, Doc, you seem more than willing to just let people throw their lives away, you know, especially when it looks like it's going to be profitable for you.
I'm taken aback by that. I'm like, for me.
Sure. We all benefit, and you have been more than gracious. But I don't understand why you stopped me, because, I mean, if I just went off and died, you would still benefit just as greatly.
Well, I think that's the part you're missing. Is it's not about what benefits me. It's about what benefits the Hellhounds, and you're an essential piece of the Hellhound machine. Losing you would be a way bigger blow than making a few extra bucks here and there, getting a little extra reputation with some gang or another. I mean, you're our shooter. You're the man.
I think Anthony just kind of like reaches over or has to grab some sort of other tool for a second, and just kind of nods. It's like, yeah, I mean, I guess, but
I'll just pat him on the back and be like, I'd do the same for any of us. It's the Hellhounds are what matters.
yeah, I don't know. I think Anthony's kind of conflicted, and maybe a little bit more than confused, especially working on this highly technical project. But yeah. Okay.
If we were having PvP action rolls, this is where I'd maybe sway at you. But I think we decided we're not going to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, you can decide how convinced you are, on your own.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
All right. So, Kiki, I think you've got one more.
Yep. I am going to attempt to heal my shot leg.
Okay. Okay, so there is probably like the only hospital in the whole area is in Soggy Bottom Creek.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
I will say it was a very interesting choice to go deal with the veterinarian and play with the animals before you got the bullet out of your leg. That was a character choice right there.
Time dot is fake. But also, I mean, I think she was more stressed than she was in pain. At least at this point. Or she was waiting for an appointment.
Sure.
But yeah, so that is a 6-step block.
I'll say 4 because we are running out of time in our campaign, so I don't want to take.
I mean, I have script to spend.
That's true.
So. And.
Yeah. In that case, I'll make it 6 if you insist.
And I'm rolling. What am I rolling?
Oh.
Or does it depend?
Yes. So you can roll an action, or you can roll your crew's tier. You know, whichever.
So
Yeah,
hiring a doctor.
I'll definitely do the cruise tier.
Yeah.
Then, which is currently
3.
3. 6. So that fills
Hey.
Feels halfway.
halfway, and I'll spend another script to get another roll.
Okay.
1, and then
Oof.
pay 2 script to fill it up the rest. So that's
Okay.
3 total.
All right. So yes, you had to spend a couple nights, and the mercy givers are not cheap.
Yep.
But you get some good company while you're there. One of your friends is a mercy giver who stops by every now and then.
Mhm.
Lament Harris stops by every now and then to check up on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiki will chat with them and be friendly and ask how things are going, and but I think they notice that she's a little more reserved than usual.
Sure. When you are discharged, you are met almost immediately by a woman you do not recognize, with the emblem of crossed stilettos on crossed daggers on her leather jacket. She introduces herself as a stiletto, and which is another gang, and congratulates you on taking down a levicopter. Rumors have spread, at least, that perhaps you did it single-handedly. So she says, well done living up to our challenge. If you need any tips or pointers in the future on how to wield a sword like that, and I presume maybe you have your sword on you at all times.
Oh yeah, at this point.
Yeah.
We're at war.
Right.
Fair.
We are training gym is open to you, and you've had some time perhaps to do some research on the stilettos. You know that their gym is a converted action broadcast station, and they train there and also sell like AR modded videos of their training where it looks like they're giant like mechs fighting each other and that kind of thing,
Nice.
to the cities for money.
Great, love it.
Yes. So you're welcome to stop by anytime and train there. You also they also do have some information. So before I get into that, does anyone want to do any other more downtimes?
I did just remember off the top of my head that the workshop means that the auto injector mod's actually quality 5.
Yes.
And so if anybody wants their arm upgraded, we could burn some script into bumping that up some quality levels.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tech mods? Tech mods?
I mean, I don't even know what it does, but yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, let's kick it up a few quality levels. So you want to spend a script on that, and then I'll spend some script if I don't roll well enough.
Which mod are you? The injector as well, or?
No, this will be the robot arm that shuts down
Okay.
guns, and we're gonna pump that up a few quality levels.
All right. I think this is a good note for me at playtesting note. I don't think I have rules for modifying something that's already installed, so I should add those. But yes, you can do that because it makes sense.
Nope. So that's a 5, bumped up 2 quality levels. Or 2 result levels. Either way.
Yeah, so I think it would make sense if it was your yes. Does the workshop increase the quality level, right, by 1? Or does it give you a die? I don't remember.
It either increases the quality level or the result level. I'm not sure which, but I think they mean the same thing, in effect. Workshop increase the quality of all your biomod rolls.
Okay. So yes, so that's going to be one higher than your current tier, and I don't remember what your.
Well, and so I also have biotechnician, so that bumps
Right.
that up to a 6. So 2 higher than 3, so
So
5.
yes, you now have a quality 5 arm mod.
So I'm imagining that probably bumps up the range, and maybe also the scale, so you could use it to like take out a whole line of guys with guns, sort of thing.
Sure. Yeah. So yes, it sounds exactly right. You can do a whole area at once. Right. Kind of similar to what Kay did to all of you at once.
Yes.
Yeah. Very cool. All
I
right.
can stop armies with my arm now.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been helpful last time.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, let me give this stiletto a name.
I wonder what happens if you point that at our cybernetic creature. Don't do it. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has guns, and I think it's limited to guns, but who knows?
Might shut off its fire breath.
Okay, so yes, she introduces herself as Piper, and says that the Stilettos have been tracking bottom feeder activity because they also dislike the bottom feeders, and have been seeing, as well as them tracking some of the corporate activity, since they gave you the tip that Levicopters were moving in and which direction. A number of corporate ships are moving towards Tidehome this time. They're taking by sea. They have been ambushed by the bottom feeders, and a number of them have been stolen. And now the bottom feeders have some very advanced corporate boats in their pocket. News of this is spreading. You're some of the first to get it, but a panic is starting amongst the townsfolk again. That hearing that the corporations are not letting up. So you have a couple of options for your next ride. The Tidehome is starting to panic. There has been, kind of across the area, a traveling fortune teller.
Okay.
Has a name and then forgot it immediately.
Is this my rival?
Yes.
I am
You can
wonderful.
generate it if you want.
I didn't have one in mind.
This is okay. Viola. Viola, the fortune teller, does a little performance with the fortune, but has been foreseeing terrible times on the whole area and traveling between towns and spreading negativity, basically, leading people to start asking questions and panic. So now that you are allied with Soggy Bottom, what is the name of the town? Soggy Bottom
Creek.
The mayor has approached you and asked you to either help calm people or protect the town. You've heard that similar things are happening in Tidehome, and Tidehome being the target of the corporation, that might be a higher priority for you. I'll leave that up to you. And there's also these bottom feeders who, now that they have this boat, or these boats, have started to get an upper hand and have been intercepting shipments between the towns and everything for their own benefit. Clearly, their victory against the corporation has gotten to their head. So, three possible directions for you to go.
So, my inclination is that we deal with the bottom feeders. And my proposal would be that the score is we go to them and say, hey, let's arrange a peace treaty you and us will form an alliance against the corporations, who are obviously going to want to come after you to get their boats back. And if negotiations break down, we'll have the head of the Bottomfeeders right there, and we can switch to our usual decapitation strategy instead. How's that sound?
What makes you think they'll even meet with us?
I think we've got a pretty good proposal for them. We're a pretty big gang, and they could use our help. We've clearly got the skills to take down the corporations in the air, which is something they probably aren't well prepared for.
I mean,
Seth is being uncharacteristically quiet, but he will kind of speak up, and not sure if this helps at all, but the main thing they're after in Tidehome is, I guess they left a bunch of research there, something to do with underwater kelp that leads to eternal life or something like that, or maybe an anti-wrinkle cream. Who knows?
One of the two.
One of the two.
It's probably called Project Ageless, and who knows what that means.
Well, that sure sounds valuable to the Corp. I think that will be very useful moving into Phase 2 here.
I don't know. I think Kiki has a point. What's to stop them from making some sort of plan like you're making?
Oh, I'm counting on it. We just gotta outplan them, and I think we can do it.
But does that really benefit us if we're just kind of running around? I mean, think from the corporation side here. You want to keep everyone busy while you're
Not
trying to do
something
your
I thought
stuff.
you would say, but
I mean, you want to keep whatever kind of violent gangs in the area busy. So you lose a couple of nice pieces of equipment to whatever local gang that's at war. You keep people busy, and then you can kind of do what you need to.
I agree, and that's why we should end this conflict immediately and decisively, and use those corporate assets against them.
You're the boss.
Yeah, I mean, we come out of this meeting, and either we've got the Bottomfeeders as allies, or we we cut off the head, and then we take their boats. Either way, the boats are shooting at the corporation instead of at us. Sounds like a win-win. And when I see everybody's agreeing, I pull the tarp off of the big model I've got laid out.
Uh-huh.
So here's the meeting area, and then we'll do sort of like the camera zoom in and it cuts to us already there, sort of thing. But let's assume that we've done a lot of planning around this, and then go to the engagement roll, I think.
Okay. So everyone's on board with that?
I'm bored.
Yeah.
Boats.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I will warn you that there would be consequences regardless of which one you picked for the other options, not being acted on. So, where are you planning on meeting?
So the proposal I'm thinking of putting to them is that we'll ride up on our bikes and we'll let them sail in on one of their big militarized ships, and we'll meet in a flooded district so that there's water and there's land.
Okay. So, all right. I'm just pulling up the engagement questions and also the entanglement roll.
Do we know anything about these boats?
They're corporate.
Yeah, that's basically all you know. So at level 3. Okay.
We could definitely do some gather information on them. If anybody's got a relevant action, probably be useful. Not really in my wheelhouse.
I have some potentially useful skills.
You could ask somebody in the Bottomfeeders what they've found out, or
My main rival is a informant for the bottom feeders, so
All right. So the engagement questions. Just double checking the entanglement. So are you all engaging on your bikes?
yeah.
mhm.
Is this operation overly complex or particularly bold or daring? Sorry.
I'd say so. We're facing
So-
down a battleship on motorcycles.
Yeah, sure. Is it contingent on many factors?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Does it expose the vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
Probably not.
No, I don't think so. Are they strong against this approach or have particular defenses, special preparations? I think they have battleship, and I think that counts as special preparations. um, do any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? Does anyone have a contact or anyone who?
Not that would help us.
Yeah.
So if information on the ship would be relevant, one of my friends is Tom Hadaway, a technician who works for the Corp. But I assume he works in like the medical division, so he probably doesn't have much insight on battleships.
Probably not. If you want to pull in the stilettos, you can. You'll be like there might be some social fallout, but you're welcome to do that for them to help you.
Would the sheriff of the town happen to be able to give us information?
Not really. They might have some information on like the name of the leader and that kind of thing.
Okay.
But no.
Actually, I did just realize. I mean, if Seth is still in contact with the remaining and surviving barbers, they were allied originally with the bottom feeders.
Mhm.
Oh.
Sure.
In theory, if they have any information and we're willing to give it up,
Mhm.
that would
Yeah,
be nice.
definitely. Yes, they can do that. Yeah, so we can count them. So I think that's 2 dice currently. Are enemies or rivals interfering in this operation? Yes, because of the entanglement.
Oh no.
Yeah. Are there any other elements you want to consider, such as relative tier? I'm going to count them having gotten this battleship as basically increasing their tier to match yours.
Didn't we kill their leader once?
You killed
Just a captain.
A leader.
A leader. Okay.
Uh-huh.
He had a pirate hat, is whatever.
did.
We assumed he was the big bad guy.
The pirate hat does not cost any load if you want to take it along. All right, so that is 1 die.
All right. Not
Nice.
great.
All right,
This
he's
is
got it.
a very bold engagement, considering.
So, the only thing I could think of is we didn't get the die for exploiting a weakness. So if somebody wants to gather some information to find us a weakness to use, that could get us an extra die.
I'm hoping for a 1 to 3.
I'll say let's start this on fire.
Sure.
All right, let's let fate decide.
Who's rolling?
I'll go ahead and roll for it as I describe my plan, and everything goes terribly.
Yes.
Yep.
Everything went wrong.
So, I was just looking up the. You've been warned to look out for Captain Thunderbrand, who is the leader of the Bottomfeeders.
Captain.
Yeah, and that is like the one condition that I make sure is in the thing is if he doesn't show up, the whole deal's off.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I think you find this little flooded out like bay almost, and a whole group of boats, including this flagship battleship, drift into the bay, and from the prow of the battleship stands this Captain Thunderbrand addressing you. You can you can tell that they came over prepared.
It's never enough.
Ahoy!
Who's wearing a pirate hat? I'm just curious.
Who's wearing it?
No, among us.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Not me.
No one's wearing it? Okay.
That's just being antagonistic.
Yeah, right. Maybe that's why you rolled a 3. That was their weakness. You would have gotten an extra die. No.
Oh, we would have gotten.
Yes. So he shouts back, "Ahoy there! What have ye to say for yourselves?"
Well, we've gotten into the business of smashing corporate toys, and we figured it looks like you're doing the same thing. So how about we arrange a little partnership, huh?
So, yeah, he cuts you off right before the end of that, and says, "So you thought you'd lure another corporate toy in so you could destroy it?"
I mean, if you're working with the corporation, then yeah, I guess we'll have to blow you up.
Says, "Of course not. Who would dare work with the corporations?"
I would, at this point, like to mention I do have bound in blood, which means I know when someone I interact with is bound in contract with the corporation. So, just in case that's a lie.
Yeah, right. So, he is not, but you can tell by surveying the rest of the gang on the ship that they press ganged a lot of corporate people into service who are still bound by corporate contracts and are acting somewhat suspiciously.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You share that info around?
Yeah, I think Seth will kind of whisper it up to Doc, or actually just to the group. I imagine if we're close enough to talk or whatever. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all Corpo Stoogies on board. He's
All
not.
of them? Oh, okay.
Well, he's not, but there's quite a few. And they're not quite acting right.
This could get messy.
Do we have guns pointed at it? Are we in a very bad position
They
right
have
now?
guns.
Yeah, that does remind me to pick your load. Speaking of, do you have guns?
Heavy.
Yeah, heavy.
For sure.
So yes, I think you do
Light.
have I think you've got they've got some of their cannons kind of pointed at you, those rocket cannons. The battleship does not have its cannons pointed at you, but there are other ships do. That would be a 1 on the engagement roll. But yeah, so so he keeps cutting you off to ask incorrect questions and assume the worst. And you keep kind of directing the conversation to do you want to work together or fight off some corporations or something like that.
Right.
So if you want to try to convince him, you can attempt to sway him or command him.
I'd like to command him, and so the angle I want to take is basically we've been wiping out gangs and corporations this whole time. Are you going to be another stepping stone to us taking over the region, or are you going to be one of our allies who is helping us fight against the corporation? And I'm going to cite, possibly incorrectly, the two gangs from last session as being part of our alliance against the corporation.
Okay. Sure.
Uh,
Could you join me over here for a whisper fight? Do you want to?
yeah. What do you got going on?
Do you want to threaten the people with guns at us for?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a good thing Seth never saw what happened on that small barge.
Right.
I see hostages. We don't take hostages.
All right, so I think that's a desperate great roll.
Awesome. I will happily take that, but I will push for dice.
Sure.
Does anyone want to assist?
I think Seth will assist. He doesn't want to get shot. He's not carrying enough to get shot right now.
All right, what's that look like? Are you just shouting along with me?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of like show of force presence, like just kind of hanging out, looking cool next to you. He's a known
Alright.
interloper. I mean, that might be something
Yeah, right.
helpful.
All right. 5.
5. Okay.
Success with a consequence.
Yes.
Of course.
So, yeah. So he's willing to. He takes it as you are offering your assistance to their cause of taking out corporations, and are willing to accept whatever resources you're willing to give. I think he says that deal like this must be bound in blood. Come aboard.
Sure thing. And do they lower like a gangplank or something?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ride my bike up it.
Yeah, of course. All right, just you writing up?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is
As
the
I-
whole
as
gang
Seth-
going
Seth
up?
will for sure
Yeah, I mean,
goes
you
well.
assisted. You gotta suffer the same
Yeah.
consequences, right?
Like, oh, okay.
I look at
Kiki's not
Kiki.
going along.
Okay, so I think everyone's going up.
Except maybe Anthony. I don't know. Do you want to be with a sniper rifle on a nearby rooftop, or do you want to be on board?
No, yeah, I was thinking about that being a bit of a distance away, but
Overwatch.
also there's a ship with cannons, and I could maybe get a ship cannons.
That's a good point.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine being up there, being there.
All right, so we're
Plus,
all.
I
aboard
think
then.
Anthony's actually a bit interested in being around Doc right now to see about this whole loyalty thing he talks about, which
Sure.
is twisted every time I think I hear about it.
So
Hmm.
he takes out this wicked-looking knife and asks you all to hold out your hands to give you a cut to shake with in blood. Very unsanitary.
That's how you get tetanus.
So you did roll a consequence on a desperate action. So tetanus. No, it'd probably be. I was thinking a short-term setback for everyone of like cut hand. And then if you don't want to go along with it, then resist in some way. I think.
I'd like to resist that with resolve and basically say, "Oh, don't worry, we've got we're committed to this," and pull out like a scalpel or something clean and cut our hands with that.
Okay.
You can cut somewhere other than the palm.
That's a really terrible place to cut.
No.
Actually, if Seth would get the chance to get close to him where they're kind of out of earshot of, potentially a good chunk of the crew and all that, he would take it even if it's that nasty tetanus shot. Doc has antibiotics, hopefully. And he'll kind of say in a lowered voice to Captain Thunderbrand, "Do you trust your crew?"
He said, "Well, first let's
Yeah.
resolve whoever's resisting." Before he
Oh, yeah, yep.
Yep.
I was not even
Yeah.
going to resist. I was like the first one to put my hand in front of the knife.
He was like, yeah.
Buddy.
Yeah, and ideally, maybe even instead of actually cutting our hands, maybe I'll just squirt some blood out of the old auto injector.
Sure. Uh-huh.
No stress.
Okay.
I was ready for this.
You can, if anyone else, you can protect by cutting their hand, or they can resist in a different way if people need to.
Oh, I was thinking I would go around with the knife to each person and
Yeah.
just.
Oh,
But if that can't be one resist, then.
yeah. So, I'm going to make it. Instead of everyone gets a short-term setback, I think just you get a short-term setback of, no, maybe it's not even a setback. I think it's just like you are spending a lot of time pantomiming this and making them kind of impatient.
Mm-hmm.
While this is going on, Steph asks the question, "Do you trust all your people?" And Captain Thunderbrand says, "Of course." And then there's an explosion on the battlecruiser. And he says, "Never mind that. But clearly everyone is panicking and rushing around." He's trying
Never
to save-
mind.
Yeah,
All right. Cliffhanger
totally
break
planned.
right there.
yeah, great place for a cliffhanger break. So
It's a very confident
we'll be back.
captain. My ship's exploding. This is okay.
totally normal.
All right. See you in a bit, guys.
Yeah, right.